difficult to do this and concentrate on this. All right, let me go now. Let me try again. Isaiah 35, 8 to 10. Only the set apart can enter Zion.
And an highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness.
Hold on. Isaiah 35, what did I say?
8 to 10.
Isaiah 35, 8 to 10 I said? Yes. All right, go to verse 8. Start again, please.
And an highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those. The wayfaring men, though fools, shall not err therein.
All right, so this is Zion. There shall be an highway and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. That is, having the faith of Yahushua HaMashiach. The way of holiness. Could you turn on that light, please? The unclean shall not pass over it.
It shall be for those. The wayfaring men, though fools, shall not err therein.
Now it tells us that there is a way. Yeah? But it says it is the wayfaring men who shall enter. Yeah? The wayfaring men. It is those men who follow the way. Who follow the way. Who will enter. And we know Acts 28, 24, 14 tells us about the way that they call heresy. Shaul says that the way they call heresy, so worship I the Alua of my fathers. And Yahusha said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. So it is those who follow the way who will go therein. Continue at verse 9.
No lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast shall go up thereon. It shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there. And the ransomed of Yahuwah shall return, and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away.
The ransomed of Yahuwah, the redeemed, and those who are redeemed cannot be unclean, cannot be defiled. Cannot be defiled. Bear that in mind, please, as we go. We're just laying the foundation here. All right. Now, what we have to understand about cleansing, about being clean, our body, soul, and spirit must all be blameless. We're going to be talking about clothing today because there is this inclination for people to think that, oh, the outer appearance doesn't matter. What matters is that which is within. That's the first opposition you're going to get when you speak about external appearance. And they will say, oh, the Most High looks at the heart. He does not look at the outer appearance. You're right. That is what you think. It's not what the Most High has been showing us. And it is in His scripture. 1 Thessalonians 5:23.
And the very allure of peace sanctify you wholly. And I pray, allure, your spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Master Yahushua HaMashiach.
Look what has to be preserved blameless until the return of HaMashiach. Your ruach, spirit, your soul, and your body must be blameless. And your body must be blameless. So your body is also important. And Christianity tells you, most of them will tell you, it does not matter the outer appearance. But we're going to show you that that is not so. Many of us are missing this boat here. It's not only our ruach, our spirits that must be blameless in this New Testament in Hamashiach. And we use this because it is the New Testament. And they are saying in the New Testament, the outer appearance does not matter. Now let's look at set apartness and filthiness of the flesh. 2 Corinthians 7 verse 1. Set apartness and filthiness of the flesh.
It is not expedient for me.
No, 2 Corinthians 7 verse 1.
7. Okay. Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the spirit, of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of Yahuwah.
Let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh, the external appearance, and ruach, perfecting holiness. That means our holiness cannot be perfected if we concentrate only on the Spirit. To perfect holiness, and remember, Yahusha said in Matthew 5:48, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. To be perfect, we have to concentrate on both the flesh and the ruach, and the Spirit. That is why it says in 1 Thessalonians 5, I pray, Alua, your whole ruach and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Master Yahusha HaMashiach. That means HaMashiach must come and see us preserving our body blameless. Not only our ruach, not only our spirits, but also our bodies. Go to Exodus 19 verse 5. So those who are kadosh, who are holy, are those who are set apart. And the Most High promised us in Exodus 19 verse 5 that he will make us into a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. Kingdom of priests and an holy nation. Verse 5.
Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
If you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, these are set apart, and the covenant will contain the instructions on how we must live. Verse 6.
And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Yasharal.
The priests were the most set apart people who were in Yahuwah's land. He wants his people to be a kingdom of priests, a kingdom of holy people. That means an entire nation of holy people. And that is for us today. This was promised for us today. And in 1 Peter 2, verse, what is this? A royal priesthood. How come I put the wrong thing there? So in 1 Peter 2, verse 9, he promised us to be a royal priesthood. Let me see if I had. 1 Peter 2, verse 9.
But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
All right. Go to verse 10.
Which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of Yahuwah, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy.
Now, once again, this is placed before us as an option for us. Yes?
Yes.
A royal priesthood and holy nation. So now we are to be returned from Babylon into Mount Zion. We now are a royal priesthood and holy nation, which means holy nation means a set apart nation. That word holy, set apart. Therefore, when he calls us out to be set apart. And remember the meanings of set apart? Let's not forget them. Unique. Let's go to the meanings of set apart. Set apart. To be distinct. So this nation is to be distinct. When people look at them, they will know. And that brings me to, I left this away so that I couldn't be led by the Ruach, but to do this, but the on and off has kind of thrown me off. I want to hope I get back on track. Yeah. We are to be distinct, a holy nation, a unique nation. We are to be marked out. We are to be separated. We are to be distinguished. Which brings me to Isaiah 61, which shows us what will happen in the end, verse 8. It's funny how the verses that you use during the week. On Shabbat, these are all the verses that come together. Isaiah 61, verse 8. Verse 9, sorry.
And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people, and all that see them.
There's no and.
All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which Yahuwah hath placed.
You see the reason for being unique, distinct, set apart. It says, all that see them shall acknowledge them. Not only will they look, their race will stand out, but there are many people of this race that are not us. But our clothing must also stand out. All that see them, because if they see us now and they look at us by race, how are they going to know that we belong to Yahuwah? Because it's not everyone that looks like us is us. They have a saying in the United States, not all kinfolk are skinfolk. Something like that?
Yes.
Not all skinfolk are kinfolk.
Not all skinfolks are kinfolk.
Yeah, not all skinfolk are kinfolk. So how will they know? It must be how we present ourselves. Read verse 9 again, please.
And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which Yahuwah hath placed.
Yeah, that's it. So there will be a look. There will be a look. Let me go back to set apart. Distinct, to be distinct, marked out, to be separated, be distinguished, to be wonderful, to make separate, to put a difference, to show marvelous, to sever. It is how we look that's going to make a distinction between us and the other nations. Let's go back now. All right, we did harmony. We did new creation. Oh, we were at a royal priesthood. All right. So the Most High has shown us that we are going to be a royal priesthood. And we are looking and we are seeing that if you're a royal priesthood, because I missed out something here. I missed out something. Let me go back and see what I missed out. Oh, today is one of those days, huh? All right. All right. Should I include that? All right. All right. So, yes, we looked at a royal priesthood. So we have to look at that the priesthood had their own unique garments, coverings. Exodus 28, verse 1. Exodus 28, verse 1.
And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Yasharal, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Itamar, Aaron's sons. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty.
For what?
For glory and for beauty.
For glory and for beauty. And in Isaiah chapter 43, the Most High prophesied and promised what we will do when it comes to his glory. Verse 7.
Even every one that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him. I have made
Him for my splendor, my esteem. And he told the priests, he told the children of Israel to create garments for the priests for glory or esteem and splendor. Yeah? For esteem and what did he, other word did he use?
beauty.
And beauty. And now he says that in the end we will be a royal priesthood. So where are our garments that show splendor and beauty? That also has to come. The Most High does not leave us to be the same with the nations. We're going to look at that a little more. We have to be set apart. So the priests back of old, they had holy garments, and we are to be a royal priesthood. So the Most High has shown us, to me, that we must have on set apart garments. Now, I'm going to put Refumo on the spot. The Most High has shown us, one of the things that the Most High has shown us is the importance of garments. I was always cognizant of this garment, that it is important for us to not have garments that everyone else has, because we have to be set apart. And the Most High is taking us to the old path, which is the good way. And so it was on my mind, bothering me, what do we do about garments? Because we're wearing these Babylonian garments. It was very uncomfortable. When you go out, there is no set apart. Apart from the fact that you have on fringes, there is nothing else real set apart, because you're wearing the same old clothing that those people, the sinners, wear, and that you wore in sin. And there's no way we should be bringing that in. And the Most High laid it on our sister's heart here and told her, about the set apart clothing. And so we went down a journey away when the Most High led us into paying attention to the clothing. And when we push it aside and focused on other things, believe it or not, we were afflicted. And when we were afflicted, there were several other things we had to do. We had to be looking, what is causing this affliction? And we ended up at the clothing. And I can tell you, the Most High, you see, we actually live, I don't want to boast, but we actually live the scriptures. The Most High is here with us, living colors. When we do what is approved, he shows us plainly. And when he doesn't approve, he afflicts us. So when it came to clothing, when we decided to do the clothing now, when we were afflicted, we said, boy, we have to do the clothing. It must be the clothing. And we went and we dealt with it. And I can tell you something that happened when we went to pick up the clothing. When we went to put on the clothing, Refuma was the first one to try his on. And when he tried on the clothing, And you see, this is the clothing, right? And I was telling him that I wonder if we could have a button or something up here to close up here. And I put my hand out to show him this opening. When I put my hand there, boop, electricity hit me. It hit me as if I had put my hand in the socket. A very strong current, beep, and I had to pull away my hand. And I went like this. And right away I realized it was confirmation from the Most High. The clothing that we used to have, the Most High was not with them. He did this to show us because we know it's static electricity that caused that. He's showing, and if we understand how Ruach HaKadosh works, it works through electrical thingies. Yeah? And it is the Ruach that it showed us that the Ruach was comfortable in this body now, that it is adorned with this. Very profound. If you felt that shock, you would never forget it. And I was shocked by the shock, but it happened. Yes? And it showed the confirmation from the Most High. Now, our sister here again, though she did not get her garment, she got, because tailors are dealing with this thing and they take time. She got a dream that she was in her set-apart garment. And what did the voice say? Touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. Just touch not the unclean thing. Yeah. And she saw herself in her set-apart clothing. And the Most High said, touch not the unclean thing. So we take that to mean that now that you're in your set-apart thing, do not go back and touch the unclean garments of Babylon. Yeah? So we go about daily and we think. So for example, we hear Exodus 19, Deuteronomy 19, what's it? Deuteronomy 21:5. When we hear Deuteronomy 21:5, let me go there. We have arguments over it. What is it again? Deuteronomy 22, is it 22? Deuteronomy 22:5.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto Yahuwah thy Elohim.
First of all, when we see this, we see how garments are important to the Most High. But secondly, we argue over whether women must wear pants, women must wear pants. It goes further than that. The garments that a woman must wear, it's not worldly Babylonian garments. It goes beyond jeans and the worldly clothing. It goes into set-apart clothing. There's a distinct clothing for men and a distinct clothing for women. Let me continue. So we are at, all right. Yes. So through those, the Most High gave us confirmation that we are on the right path. Yeah? We're going to look more into that later. Now, we're going to go more into this clothing thing and show it from the book of Genesis. Sin shows up, Genesis 3:6. Sin shows up our nakedness. So we must be physically clothed. When Adam and Eve sinned, the first thing they did is to try to put on clothes. Sin shows up our nakedness, so we must be physically clothed. Genesis 3:6.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
And then what happened?
And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons.
No. Look at what the Most High. Look at what the Most High made. Look at what they did. They sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. These are sinners. And how did they clothe themselves? They clothe themselves, exposing themselves loosely. If it's fig leaves, it can easily be blown up. You can easily see through the cracks in there, whatever. And they made themselves aprons. So when you make aprons are around where? Just cover their pubic area. So up top will be exposed. So they will only be covering a small area, which is how sinners today clothe themselves. This is why when you go outside in this world, like for example in summer, you see people half naked in certain places. They have on skimpy clothing, the mind of a sinner. Man does not know how to clothe himself to please Yahuwah. Fig leaves or aprons were revealing, so the Most High gave them his idea of clothing. Genesis 3:21.
Unto Adam also and to his wife did Yahuwah Elohim make coats of skins and clothe them.
There you go. When they made aprons in Genesis 3:7, it did not say that they were clothed. It just said they knew they were naked and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. It didn't say they were clothed. But they put them on anyway. But the Most High clothed them in coats of skins. Now the coats of skins are important because you cannot see through the skin. It will not be revealing. And another thing about it, it did not make them aprons. He made them what? Coats. Now a coat will be something that covers the body. Coats covers the body. Let me look at the meaning. Genesis 3:21. Coats. What it says here. Genesis 3:21. Coats, from an unused root, meaning to cover. It says a shirt, coat. It couldn't be a shirt, because if it is only a shirt, it would not cover their pubic area. So it has to be more than a shirt. Garment, and it says a robe. So from the beginning, the Most High's choice of clothing is a robe to cover our shame, to cover our sin, to cover everything. Okay? All right, so we did this already. Why is this? No, I'm at the wrong place. All right. Yeah. So let's look at the interdependence of the spirit and the body. The interdependence of the spirit and the body. Go to Daniel 7 verse 15. We want to look at the importance of clothing. Daniel 7 verse 15.
I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit, in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one.
No, that's all I want to know. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit, in the midst of my body. We have to understand that the spirit is housed in the body. Our spirit is housed in our body and operated through our brains. Now, affects our spirit. Think about it. If we are to go out on the road exposing ourselves, then we are going to feel very uncomfortable as believers. So believers must be covered for their spirit to not be grieved, for their spirit to be comfortable in the midst of their bodies. An unbeliever or a sinner, they are comfortable in sin. So they are not grieved when they are naked. But we, believers, will be grieved in our spirit. Why? 1 Corinthians 6 verse 19. Why will we be grieved in our spirit when our body is not properly clothed?
What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Ruach HaKadosh, which is in you, which ye have of Elohim, and ye are not your own?
Your body is the temple. This is a temple of Elohim. So it must operate in the mind of Yahuwah. It must operate in the way in which the Most High approves. Verse 20.
For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify Elohim in your body, in your spirit, which are Yahuwah's.
There we go with glorify again. Remember, the priests were there for what? Their garments were for glory and for beauty, for splendor and for beauty. Yeah? We must exalt. This is New Testament. We must exalt Allah in our body and in our ruach, because this belongs to Yahuwah. It is His temple. It is no longer ours. We have to adorn the temple how He wants it. And if you go back to the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus, the Most High tells you meticulously how to adorn His temple. He told us over and over again how to adorn His temple, because it belongs to Him. This is not our own. This was purchased by Yahuwah. And we looked at this before, but we look at it again. We must be kadosh. We must be set apart in both body and ruach. 1 Corinthians 7:34. We must be set apart in the New Testament. Not the Old Testament only. In the New Testament, we must be set apart in both body and ruach. Read, please.
There is a difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of Yahuwah, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Holy where?
Both in body and in spirit.
So set apart in the body and set apart in the ruach. How can you be set apart in the body if you are adorning yourselves in ways which the Most High does not approve? You cannot. You must be adorning yourselves in ways in which the Most High approves. And you know, this teaching here is long. It was like I knew that there was something missing and I didn't. Because I remember I used to listen to a Hebrew Israelite and he used to say, how can you be wearing clothing like shirts and all of those things? He said this was not biblical garment. Putting on the fringes on those shirts, it's like he was saying it's an abomination because you're putting on Yahuwah's thing on the things of the world. And those things touched me, and I said, I used to ask the Most High, how does this clothing thing go? And so, when we got to this, I must say I'm very relieved. So the woman must be holy or set apart, both in body and in ruach. But the opposite is, but she that is married.
But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband.
So when you are set apart both in body, when you care to be set apart both in body and in ruach, it means that you are not caring for the things of the world. You are caring for the things of Yahuwah. So, caring for the things of Yahuwah You will not do the things that are of the world. Therefore, when Yahuwah's people are set apart, they are going to look different from the average person that is in the world. Very simple. So apparel or clothing manifests holiness, manifests set apartness. 1 Timothy 2 verse 9 to 10. Apparel or clothing manifests. Now, be very careful. We are not saying that putting on these clothes make you holy. We are saying that these clothing make you set apart. The external and the internal have to go together. If they are separated one from the other, then we are in trouble. For example, you have some people who only focus on external appearance. They will look holy, look set apart and everything, but inward, man, they are sinners. Then you have another set of people who act righteous and holy. When you see them, you say, yes, these people are some serious believers. But yet still, guess what? They don't adorn themselves externally, and so they are not complete. Remember, it says, I pray, Yahuwah, that your whole body and spirit or ruach be preserved blameless. It is both. You cannot even think spiritually that you are okay and you are there. And that's what we found out when the Most High started to show us displeasure. Because when he revealed this to us, we were lagging our feet on it because we didn't know how to approach it, and I guess we didn't even know how valuable it was. But then he started to show his displeasure. And when we did it, then he showed us his pleasure in it. 1 Timothy 2 verse 9 to 10.
In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array, but which becometh woman professing godliness with good works.
All right, look into that now. Look into that. Women adorn themselves with modest apparel. Clothing is important. The clothing must be modest. Even if you get modest clothing from in Babylon, that is Babylonian apparel. That is not the Most High's set apart apparel. Women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, with humility and self-control. Notice the other part of it now, not with broided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array. The reason it does not speak to man about our adornment, it is because it is the propensity of women to put on extra, to adorn themselves extra. So that is why in Timothy it speaks to the woman. A man will be comfortable with just wearing anything there is, but a woman would like to fancy up herself. That is why it tells us, not with broided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array, but in humility. But nevertheless, what we get from this is that apparel is important, because the next verse says, but which becometh woman professing holiness. So the clothing must go with women who profess set apartness, holiness. So the clothing is directly connected to holiness. Not that clothing makes you holy. I must keep saying this. Clothing does not make you holy or righteous, because I know some people, and I speak about it a lot, of people who look so much set apart, and yet still they are terrible people. But what I'm saying is that the righteousness is not fulfilled unless it is manifested by the righteousness that is in how we present ourselves to the world. So set apart physical clothing, Leviticus 19, verse 19.
Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee.
All right. If clothing was not important, why did the Most High tell you, do not mix fabrics? Deuteronomy 22:11. Do not mix fabrics. Read it, please.
Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of woolen and linen together.
Why would the Most High tell us not to? Because garments determine the frequency in which our bodies operate. The reason why I got shocked from Refumo was probably because of the difference in the garments that I had on, the difference in the frequency that I was in to the frequency that was generated by him having on this apparel. Because I didn't even, I should have pulled it up to show the difference in frequencies. Let me see if I can find it quickly. The frequency of different fabrics. All right. Bam, bam, bam. Let me show you something here. Let me see if I can get to. Bear with me, please, because. Bam, bam, bam. No, pop up. All right, let me just read it. Let me just read it. Yeah. The frequency of cotton, because what he had on was 100% cotton. The frequency of cotton compared to other fabrics varies significantly. Organic cotton resonates at 100 hertz, while non-organic cotton can be much lower. Linen and wool, on the other hand, have much higher frequencies, around 5,000 hertz. Can you imagine the shock I would have gotten if it was a linen? Yeah?
You would have fainted.
Yes, 5,000 hertz. And hear the difference now. Synthetic fibers like polyester and nylon generally have low frequencies, often around 15 to 40 hertz. 15 to 40 hertz. Silk, 15 hertz. 15 hertz. Silk. Now, let me get back to this. Yeah. So, this is why the Most High tells us, when you mingle these different frequencies together, it causes problems with us. So, clothing is important because Ruach HaKadosh works through frequencies, works through the air, frequencies. And the clothing that we have will mask the frequencies, will stifle the frequencies. Now, the importance of the frequency is that when the Ruach is operating in us, the Ruach is more comfortable operating in us at higher frequencies. That is why our people back in those days wore what? Linen and wool. Wool and linen. And that is why the priests wore linen. Because the priests now could be more spiritual because of the linen. All right. So, that is that. Now, the Most High also told us something to make a difference, which is fringes. Fringes. Some call them tassels. We're going to look at the meaning of fringes. Numbers 15, 37 to 41. Set apart garments. And we have some people who go out there. If you are listening to this and you hear any of them, don't listen to them. There are some people who are saying that don't wear any fringes because fringes does not make you holy. You have to understand the principle, people. Your whole body and spirit must be preserved. It's their body and their spirit together. Blameless to the appearing of Hamashiach. Remember the parable that Hamashiach said, and he said, he saw a man there that did not have on what? His wedding garment. Now it is figurative, but it's also literal. Your wedding garments means that you are not ready, you are not prepared spiritually. But it also means that you are dressed in strange apparel. And what is it? Say, bind him hand and foot and what? Throw him out into eternal fire. So the fact that fringes, because I will be one of the first to tell you, the radio is too loud. I'll be one of the first to tell you that fringes does not make you set apart. But not wearing fringes makes you disobedient. Because the Most High has an identifying factor that he wants to know. We looked at Isaiah 61 when he says, all that see them shall know that they are the seed that Yahuwah hath blessed. The distinct and unique thing about the Most High's clothing is that he gives us fringes, he gives us tassels to be on the borders with a riband or border of blue that will make people know who we are. So it does not make you kadosh, but it makes you obedient. And those who are disobedient are those who will be misled. Those who are obedient are those who will understand knowledge and understand doctrine. And these are those who will be able to follow Yahushua HaMashiach. So let's go to Numbers 15:37 to this commandment.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Yasharal, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put on the fringes of the borders a riband of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of Yahuwah, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring, that ye may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your allure.
So guess what? Look at all the instructions. The Most High didn't take one verse and do it. 1, 2, 3, 4 verses. He went and explained why the fringes. And then we are going to say, no, fringes does not make you holy. I am not going to wear it. Bam. Disobedience. Speak unto the children of Yashral and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations. That means fringes is going to be our identifying factor in the end. In the middle, in the beginning, in the end. Wear fringes is going to let them know that you are mine. And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a riband or a border of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of Yahuwah and do them. When you have on the fringes, you know your responsibility now is to Yahuwah. This is Yahuwah's garments. And that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes. It is for us in the New Testament. In the New Testament, it is a symbol of denial of self. Look at it. That you seek not after whose heart? Your own heart. When you deny yourself, you don't seek after your own heart. And your own eyes. After which you used to go a-whoring. That means you have not denied yourself, no, you are looking outside. That you may remember and do all my commandments and be kadosh unto your allure. And there are some people who take this fringe as like of a uniform, like they don't look at this to see the responsibility that they have. And so they make Yahuwah's names be blasphemed because they just wear the fringe as a mark of righteousness. Oh, I have on my fringes and this and that. It's righteousness first. And the fringes are a clothing that manifests that we should be walking in righteousness. Now, Rafuma, remember the dream that you had. I put you on the spot. I said, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm very sorry. To edify the people, you have to speak. So, remember you had a dream. and you saw Yahushua HaMashiach. What, apart from the prophetic ruach, his strong prophetic ruach, what was the most important thing you said about him that he had?
Yeah, he had very big tassels, huge tassels, almost like it was like double tassels. There were very, very huge tassels around him. But I didn't know that it was him at the time, but I just knew that the man had a very strong prophetic ruach. And then he wore a top, and the top had like huge, I don't know, it was very weird, but it was like there were huge tassels, like almost like they were magnified. Yeah.
All right? And to me, they were magnified to show us the importance of the tassels, of the fringes. They were magnified because we were at the point of dealing with our clothing. And so he was showing us the importance of clothing, of the tassels on the clothing. All right? Let me go back now to where I was. I find it hard to go. I did this. Oh, we are at fringes. Now, Deuteronomy 22:12 says the same thing, make fringes on the borders of your garments. Matthew 9:20, verse 29:20 to 22. We were just speaking about Hamashiach. Hamashiach wore fringes, and it said it in the book of Matthew. But they kind of hid it from us. And let's see how they hid it. Matthew 9, verse 20.
And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. For she said within herself, if I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole.
If I may do what?
Touch his garment, I shall be whole.
So if the garment is not important, why did she find it important? She didn't even say, if I may touch him. She said, I might touch his garment. And then we are telling people in this New Testament that the clothing is not important. But continue.
But Yahushua turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith hath made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour.
So she touched his garment. But what about his garment she touched? She touched the hem of his garment. The hem of his garment. What is the meaning of hem? It is the Greek word kraspidon. It means a margin that is specifically a fringe or a tassel. And they told us that fringes is not important. The woman touched this fringe. The fringes, the same fringes that these people are telling people not to wear. The woman touched the fringe and was made whole. So, that is also a part of the set apart garment. We have to get our fringes. Now, Babylon in itself has provided us with an alternative, or with alternatives. Babylon has brought us up going after Babylonian garments. And when we go after Babylonian garments, we transgress the way of the Most High. We were born wearing Babylonian garments. And now when we come into the way of the Most High, we tend to just try to wear more conservative Babylonian clothing and think that we can truly please the Most High in the way of Babylon. But the Most High told us to go back to the old path wherein is the good way in the book of Jeremiah. And guess what it said in Jeremiah? But they said, we will not walk therein. The question is, will we walk in the old path, which is the good way? That is the question. Now, let's look at the tempting, abominable Babylonian garment that is described in Joshua. in the book of Joshua with Achan. Achan saw a Babylonian garment and they were told not to trouble anything, but he could not resist it. Because he took the Babylonian garment and some gold, etc. The whole entire nation lost the war. The whole entire nation because of Achan's lust after Babylonian garments. Joshua 7 verses 19 to 26.
And Joshua said unto Achan, My son, give, I pray thee, glory to Yahuwah, Eluah of Yasharal, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said, Indeed, I have sinned against Yahuwah, Eluah of Yasharal, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment.
All right. The first thing that was the problem that made him sin against the Most High is the goodly Babylonish garment. Now we say we've rejected everything, but guess what? We continue to wear the Babylonish garments. How can we please the Most High when we have on these goodly Babylonish garments? Where is it? And that goodly there is to be. That is good. Good thing. That means it was a nice garment. Irresistible Babylonian garment. What did he do? Read from 21 again.
When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth, in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it.
All right. So apart from the money, the garment was one of them. So let's see what is the judgment of the Most High. And we know it, verse 22.
So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and unto all the children of Yasharal, and laid them out before Yahuwah. And Joshua and all Yasharal with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his donkeys, and his sheep, and his tents, and all that he had, and they brought to the valley of Achor.
So you see that the judgment is on everything that belongs to him. Man, his sons and his daughters and his oxen and his ass and his sheep and his tent. Verse 25.
And Joshua said, Why hast thou troubled us? Yahuwah shall trouble thee this day. And all Yasharal stoned him with stones, and burnt them with fire,
Oh boy.
after they had stoned them with stones.
So it was not enough to stone them with stones, burn them with fire as well. Continue, verse 26.
And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So Yahuwah turned from the fierceness of his anger. Wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day.
Wow. That's how serious the garment is. Yes? Now in the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, verse 1 to 8. Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 1 to 8.
The word of Yahuwah, which came unto Zephaniah, the son of Cushi, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah, the son of Hizkiah, in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Yehuda.
So he's talking about judgment upon Yehuda, but it goes to show us what he thinks about Babylonian garments. Verse 2.
I will utterly consume all things from off the land, saith Yahuwah. I will consume man and beast. I will consume the fowls of the heaven, and the fishes of the sea, and the stumbling blocks with the wicked. And I will cut off man from off the land, saith Yahuwah. I will also stretch out mine hand upon Yehuda, and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and I will cut off the remnant of Baal from this place, and the name of the Chemarims with the priests, and them that worship the hosts of heaven upon the housetops, and them that worship and that swear by Yahuwah, and that swear by Malcham, and them that are turned back from Yahuwah, and those that have not sought Yahuwah, nor inquired for him.
Oh boy. You see all of these classes of people that will be devoured in the anger of Yahuwah. Notice the last piece there. Them that swear by Yahuwah and that swear by Malcham. These are those people who are saying they are following the Most High, but worshipping him under other names, giving worship to these other gods. This other one, them that are turned back from Yahuwah. These are those who are following Yahuwah and have turned back. They think they're too hot for them or too hard, and they turned back. Yes. Yes. And it says, and those that have not sought Yahuwah, nor inquired of him. So the people who are in this world who don't even think about Yahuwah, they might even think about him, but they have not sought him, nor inquired of him. They are going to be punished. But verse 7 and 8 are what we want. Hold thy peace at the presence of Yahuwah Alua. Verse 7. For the day of Yahuwah is at hand, for Yahuwah hath prepared a sacrifice, he hath bid his guests. So on the day of Yahuwah's wrath, can you read verse 8 for me, please? What will happen on the day of Yahuwah's wrath?
And it shall come to pass in the day of Yahuwah's sacrifice, that I will punish the princes, and the king's children, and all such as are clothed with strange apparel.
With what?
Strange apparel.
Strange apparel. So the people of Yahudah, the children of Yashrael, had their own apparel. But they like to bring in the apparel of strangers. And this apparel here, strange, let me get it on. I don't think I had made preparation. Oh, meaning of strange, yes. The meaning of strange is the word nakri, which means foreign, alien, foreigner, foreign, alien, foreigner, harlot, unfamiliar. These are the garments that are not of Yahuwah's people, but are of the heathen. They are foreign garments. And yes, we had grown up jeans and t-shirt, jeans and polo shirt and all that. We grew up with it in Babylon, so that is all we know. But when we inquire of Yahuwah, remember, he just showed us in Zephaniah here that he will destroy those Yahuwah, nor inquire of him. But when we inquired of Yahuwah, he instructed us and showed us the garments that we should wear. So we no longer are wearing strange apparel. We are now wearing what? Set apart apparel. Because he said, and you shall be kadosh, you shall be holy, you shall be set apart, for I am set apart. Strong's abbreviation. Strange in a variety of degrees and applications. Foreign, relative, adulterous, different, wonderful, alien, foreigner, outlandish, strange. So those garments are strange garments. And when you come out of those garments and you see how you look, you realize you look totally different than when you were in those strange garments. So it says strange apparel. And the meaning of apparel there, the meaning of apparel It is the word malbush, which means clothing, vestments, raiment, attire. So it's actually strange clothing. That is what we're talking about today. Strange clothing. So we must not be found in the clothing of the nations of Babylon, which is the good way. So let's look at spiritual set apart clothing. Matthew 22, 8 to 14. Because we look at physical, let's look at spiritual set apart clothing. Matthew 22, I said 8
Yes.
to 14. Go ahead, please.
Then saith he to his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways, and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how comest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
For many are called, but few are chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen to wear the Most High's set apart garments. And that is why in this world, the Most High keeps this away from us. It is like his set apart people will be those who he chooses for his kingdom. Those who will obey him. Those who will do everything and give up everything to obey him. Because he leaves us in the Babylonian clothing, and he left us in the Babylonian clothing for such a long time. So we have to keep our garments undefiled to make it into the kingdom. Yes? And we are talking here about spiritual garments, because we're going to move from physical clothing into spiritual clothing. It is both of them. We cannot look at one without the other. Spiritual clothing. Revelation 3, verse 4.
Thou hast a few names even in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy.
So the garments refer spiritually to the state of our mind, the state of our heart, being clothed in righteousness. That is the garment. Yes? Revelation 16:15.
Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth, and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame.
Lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. Let me get the... So Barak is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments. So spiritually, we have to, because we're not only dealing with physical, we're dealing with the spiritual clothing. We have to watch and keep our garments. That means we have to be ready and waiting for the coming of Yahusha, walking in righteousness before him, walking what? Blameless. Remember the word says, I pray that your whole soul and body and spirit be preserved blameless unto the coming of Yahusha. This is it. Barak is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked. Naked means in sin, and they see his shame. Revelation 19, verse 8.
And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen,
Clean and white.
For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
The righteousness. To have on our garments is to be in righteousness. Remember, in Sardis it says there are a few in Sardis that shall walk with me, which have not defiled their garments. So it's a few people be in righteousness. In the end time, it will not be a lot. And they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. So we cannot walk in righteousness without being clothed with the zeal of the Most High. We dealt with zeal a few weeks ago. We cannot walk in righteousness without being clothed with the zeal. We're going to go to the Shepherd of Hermas, and it's chapter 90. Chapter 90. Let me get this thing. It's page 99. Alliteration of nines. Chapter 90, page 99. Let me get it on this page. Okay. All right. Let me get this thing on. Why is it not on? Okay. All right. Go ahead, please.
Sorry, it's 90, right?
Yeah, page 99.
Page 90.
Shepherd of Hermas.
Page 99?
Yeah. Chapter 90, verse 1.
Okay. And who, I asked, is the tower? This tower, he said, is the assembly. And who are these virgins? They, he said, are holy spirits. And there is no other way a person can be found in the kingdom of Yahuwah, except that they clothe him with their clothes.
Except they do what?
Clothe him with their clothes.
So when we're talking about clothing, we're not talking about only physical clothing. Unless they clothe him with this clothing of these set apart ruachot, cannot enter the kingdom. Go ahead, please.
For if you receive only the name, but do not receive clothing from them, it does not benefit you.
Oh, stop there, stop there, my brother. If they do what? If you receive only the name, and these are people on the internet, the name of Yahuwah, and you have to know the name saves you, and the saving name, and save, name. If you receive only the name, but do not receive clothing, it does not benefit you. It is the same thing. If you go about speaking about what this and that and that and that, and you don't have the clothing, it does not benefit you. Likewise, if you have the clothing and you don't have the name, it don't benefit you. You have to have both the spiritual and physical together. Your whole body and soul and ruach. Continue, please. For these
virgins are powers of the son of Elua.
Powers of who?
The son of Elua.
You see it? You see how Mashiach is necessary? Eh? And these people dancing around Hamashiach. Every week we have to tell you about the Yahusha dance. You're dancing around Hamashiach thinking that you're making it into the kingdom by trying to avoid our king and his instructions. Dancing around Hamashiach because you do not want to suffer affliction and persecution. Because you do not want to go through trials and troubles. Because you want to have your cake and eat it too. You want to live in this world and be of the world. And say you're not of the world. You want to love this world and the things that are in the world. And yet still, you want to enter into his kingdom. You would think we would be here today talking only about physical. Continue.
If you bear the name, but do not bear his power, you will bear his name in vain.
Oh. If you bear the name, but do not bear his power, you will bear his name in vain. And you cannot receive his power unless you go through his hardship, his trials, his tests. Yes? Verse 3.
And the stones, he said, that you saw rejected are the ones who bore the name, but did not clothe themselves with the virgin's clothing.
All right, stop there. You realize that this is your dream. You see it? Remember you saw someone who got swept away by the flood. These are the ones who did what? Who bore the name,
But not the clothing.
but did not clothe themselves with the virgin's clothing. Akita, you see what I told you about this book? Shepherd of Hermas. Powerful. Continue.
What kind of clothing do they have, sir? I asked. The names themselves, he said, are their clothing. Whoever bears the name of the son of Elua ought also to bear their names. For even the Son himself bears the names of these virgins.
You see it? This is 1 John 2, verse 6. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself so to walk even as he walked. And you cross this with John 15, 4-6. Abide in me and I in you. This is it. Hamashiach bore these clothing, and yet still we want to escape it and not bear it. It doesn't work like that. This salvation, you think this salvation is a stroll in the park. That's why when the Most High tell you, flee out of the midst of Babylon, it's just an introduction to this as a beginning to start to follow Yahusha. Most of you out there have not even started to follow him. I can definitively tell you, because most of you refuse to deny yourselves. And because you refuse to deny yourself, you haven't started to follow him. So listen to this very carefully. Continue.
All the stones, he said, that you saw go into the structure of the tower, delivered by their hands and remaining in the building, are clothed with the power of these virgins.
Oh man, that's your dream. Remember the dream that they went in and they were behind that, the blue door, and they made it to the tower. All the stones which go into the structure of the tower, delivered by their hands and remaining in the building, are clothed with the power of these virgins. Continue.
This is why you see that the tower has become a single stone with the rock.
And that means what? That goes back to the beginning. We thought about what? Oneness. One mind, one heart. Those who are set apart are in one mind, one heart. So there is no dissembling, division, I can't even find the word. Disagreement. Yeah, they are in one accord. Single stone with the rock. In unity, in union. In like-minded. Continue. So also. There we go with it again. Look at it. Verse 5. So also.
So also, those who have believed in the Master,
In Yahuwah.
in Yahuwah through his Son, and clothe themselves with these spirits, will become one spirit
Is it?
and one
one body,
body,
and their clothes will be
one
one
color.
One color. And that one color is eventually what? White.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
their garments, and they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. So the clothes are one color. All who have believed will become one ruach and one body. Yes? We will become one. Continue.
One color. And the home of those who bear the names of the virgins is in the tower.
The lighthouse.
Yeah.
You see it?
Tower, yeah.
That's the dream right here. And the most I gave you right before we did this. The home of those who bear the names of the virgins is in the lighthouse. I mean, tower.
Yeah.
In the tower. It's a dream here. Verse 6.
Now, sir, I said, about the rejected stones, why were they rejected? For they passed through the door and were placed in the structure of the tower by the hands of the virgins. Since everything interests you, he said, and you are inquiring carefully, listen regarding the rejected stones. All these, he said, received the name of the son of Elua, and also received the power of these virgins.
What? Stop there. This is important. Because they got past the name. They got past the name. And guess what? They also received the power of these virgins. You've got to see what the virgins are. But still they were rejected. Well, this is not an easy road at all. Let's see why they were rejected.
Having received, therefore, these spirits, they were strengthened and were with Yahuwah's servants, and they had one spirit and one body and one garment, for they had the same mind and did what was right.
All right. One accord. So they were in one accord. But guess what happened? Something happened after that. Verse 8.
Then, after a while, they were seduced by the woman whom you saw dressed in black garments, with bare shoulders, loosened hair, and attractive figures.
You see that? So we can be here well, nice and jolly, in one accord, in one mind, and someone is lured by their desires. This is why it's important to deny self, people, and to keep self-denied. We can be all right and on our way to the kingdom. And one thing happened, bam. And one of us is lured off. That person is gone and will be rejected. That is why Shaul says that he prays that they hold their hope steadfast to the end. Let me see if I can get that verse for you. Let me get that verse. All right, sorry about that. Don't remember the verse itself. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can get it. Where is it? Where are you, Shaul? Man, I can't find it. No, I don't see it. All right, let's go. I can't find it quick enough. But Shaul said something about being steadfast to the end. So where were we now?
Attractive figures.
Where were we? Verse what?
8.
Yeah, go ahead.
When they saw them, they desired them, and put on their powers, and laid aside the clothes and the power of the virgins. These, therefore, have been thrown out of Yahuwah's house, and handed over to those women.
Wow.
But those who were not deceived by the beauty of these women remained in Yahuwah's house. Now you have, he said, the explanation of the rejected stones.
So we are wondering, what are these powers, are these virgins? Let's go to 91 and see.
So what will happen, sir, I asked, if these people, being what they are, repent and cast aside their desire for these women, and return to the virgins and walk in their power and in their works? Will they not enter Yahuwah's house? They will enter, he said.
All right. So all is not lost. All is not lost. That is the mercy of the Most High. Continuing to.
If they cast aside the works of these women, and take up again the power of the virgins, and walk in their works. For this is why there was a pause in the construction, so that if these repent, they may go back into the structure of the tower.
All right. So this is. People were here. Yes. Continue. But
But if they do not repent, then
others will go in.
and these will be cast out in the end.
Others will go in. So other people will come and take their place. Verse 3.
I gave thanks to Yahuwah for all these things, because he had mercy on all those who called upon his name, and sent forth the angel of repentance to us, who had sinned against him, and renewed our spirit. And he restored our life when we were already ruined and had no hope of life. Now, sir, I said, explain to me why the tower is not built on the rock and the door.
And the what?
The door.
You see it again? The dream. The blue door. Continue.
Are you still, he said, stupid and senseless? I am obliged, sir, I said, to ask you about everything, for I am absolutely unable to comprehend anything at all. For all these matters are awesome and glorious and difficult for people to understand.
He said, he says, are you still stupid and senseless? You see, sometimes humility is a thing. So Hermas is humbly taking all the abuse, knowing that, boy, I take the abuse, I'll get my answer. He just wants to know, no matter what you call him, he humbly takes it. What does that say for us today? Go, continue verse 5.
Listen, he said, the name of the Son of Yahuwah is great and incomprehensible, and sustains the whole world. If, therefore, all creation is sustained by the Son of Yahuwah, what do you think of those who are called by him and bear the name of the Son of Yahuwah and walk in his commandments? Do you see then what kind of people he sustains? Those who bear his name with their whole heart.
With their?
Whole heart.
You think it is people that go and mention his name? Increase the name of Jesus. You see that Satan's religion? Those who he sustains are those who bear his name with their whole heart. They love not their lives unto death. Continue, please.
So he himself has become their foundation and gladly sustains them, because they are not ashamed to bear his name.
And this is 1 Peter 2 verse 8. Unto you therefore which believe he is precious. But unto them who believe not. Let me get it, I don't want to miss a word. 1 Peter 2 verse 8. This is it right there.
And a stone.
No. 7, sorry.
Unto you, therefore, which believe, he is precious. But unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner. and a stone of stumbling, and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word.
Being disobedient.
Whereunto also they were appointed.
So go back to Hermas again and read 6 again. Do you see
Do
them?
you see then what kind of people he sustains? Those who bear his name with their whole heart. So he himself has become their foundation, and gladly sustains them, because they are not ashamed to bear his name.
Continue.
Tell me, sir, I said, the names of the virgins and of the women dressed in the black garments. Here, he said, the names of the stronger virgins who are stationed at the corners.
So these are the virgins that we have to have in order to make it into the tower. Let's hear them.
The first is faith.
Oops. Let's go slowly. The first is
Faith.
Emona. The second,
The second, self-control.
what?
Self-control.
Mm-hmm.
The third, power.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth, patience.
Mm-hmm. These are the primary 4. Emona. Self-control. Power, which we get through Ruach HaKadosh. And patience. And the others?
And the others standing between them have these names:
We
sincerity,
cannot be hypocrites. We have to be sincere.
innocence,
Hey.
purity,
Purity. You
cheerfulness,
see this one here? I love this one. Cheerfulness. People who are in Yahusha are going to have joy. In the Shepherd of Hermas, it tells us about grief. And it tells us that grief is the worst sin. Out of every sin, that grief is the worst. It's the opposite of cheerfulness. Let me see if I can find it. Let's go to verse. Remember which verse we were at?
102.
All right, so let's go to verse 44, chapter 44. Yeah, page 44, chapter 40.
Rid yourself, he said to me, of grief, for it is the sister of double-mindedness and an angry temper.
It's dangerous. And we know how an angry temper is dangerous. Grief is a sister. That means they walk with grief. And I know this thing from grief. My experience is over time. Whenever something happens really bad, you find yourself at even the word you can read. You start thinking about other things. Remember back in the days, you go on the internet, like in the early days when things got really bad, and you search for other things that might cheer up your flesh, and you realize what you're doing. So when you have grief, you tend to want to go and please the flesh in order to overcome the grief. The sister of double-mindedness. Grief also, when you are grieving, you get angry easily. You easily get angered when you have grief. Continue, please.
Sir, I asked, how is it the sister of these? For an angry temper seems to me to be one thing, double-mindedness another, and grief another. You are foolish. You are a foolish man, he said. Do you not understand that grief is the most evil of all the spirits and very bad for Yahuwah's servants, and that it corrupts a person more than all the spirits and crushes the Ruach HaKadosh and saves again?
All right. So it goes on to tell you that you can have grief, but it's in a positive way. That grief that you have turns you to repentance. But the grief that it says is the worst is the grief that turns you to the flesh. So there can be grief that turns you to spiritual things. Some things happen to you so bad that you turn to the Most High with all your heart. That is the good grief that leads you to be saved. But the one that we're talking about, the opposite of cheerfulness, the one that is bad. Go back to, what verse were we? Page
102.
102. All right. Start with on the other, standing between them. Verse 2.
The first is with, okay. Okay. And the other standing between them have these names: sincerity, innocence, purity, cheerfulness, truth, understanding, harmony, and love.
Harmony and love. All of these things we have to have in order to be able to go in the tower. You see that harmony? And was it yesterday we were speaking about harmony? Yesterday we were speaking about the importance of harmony. Harmony is when we are well tuned together in one accord. It is important. Harmony is so important. We cannot have a dissenting person. We cannot have the persons here, everybody in harmony and everybody happy. And then one person slink away to the side with their grief. That is not harmony. We have to be in oneness. We have to be in cheerfulness, in purity, in truth, in understanding, and in innocence and sincerity and love. Continue.
The one who bears these names and the name of the son of Elua will be able to enter the kingdom of Yahuwah.
Wow. So you're going to have to start 2 again. Start 2 again. All of these things we have to have in order to enter the kingdom. That is why the Most High takes us and He sets us apart at a place like this, where we can go through our experiences and we learn to possess all of these in love. When you are in Babylon, you cannot. Because there's no way in Babylon that you can be in the wilderness of the people, where you can be together with people of like minds, where you can be tried and tested among people to bring out all of these things. You cannot be by yourself, people, and be perfect in emunah, and be perfect in self-control. Who are you going to exercise, or what is going to make you have self-control? More than somebody in your face, by your side, in your house, wherever you are, that is annoying to you, that is bothering you, that is troubling you, that is testing you, that is trying you, that is tempting you. You have to be among people. And the third, power, which you get from Ruach, and the fourth, patience. How are you going to exercise, learn patience by yourself? It's not easy. The best place to learn patience is when people are trying your patience. Yeah? I have learned patience by, and I'm not telling people that I'm perfect, but I've learned patience by being associated with people for the last few years. That is how I've learned patience, and been tried to the limit and have to exercise patience. If I was on my own, I would not. And when I came together with people, it was when I saw my deficiencies. When I was by myself, I thought I was okay. I thought I was good. But when I came among people, that was when I saw my deficiencies. When people tried to, the things that I went through with people, it is like I was saying, boy, I thought I had self-control. I thought I had patience. But it is developed, or was developed here. And the others standing between them have these names: sincerity, innocence, pure. All of these things. Start from 2 again. Because it's so important.
The first is faith, and the second, self-control, and the third, power, and the fourth, patience. And the others standing between them have these names: sincerity, innocence, purity, cheerfulness, truth, understanding, harmony, and love. The one who bears these names and the name of the Son of Yahuwah will be able to enter the kingdom of Eluah.
No, we're going to see the bad. These are the bad ones now that tempted them away. Remember, they had all of these things, but then these others now tempted them away. Let's see what tempted them away. Verse 3.
Here also, he said, the names of the woman with the black clothes. Of these, 4 also are more powerful. The first is unbelief.
Unbelief. This is what makes Yahusha become a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. Unbelief. This is what made the children of Yasharal not enter into the promised land. In the book of Hebrews, it says they entered not in because of unbelief. The second,
self-indulgence.
whoops, hold up there. Self-indulgence. When you see that self, you remember denying self. Self-indulgence. So I'm there every day telling people to deny self. Self-indulgence. You cannot get in the kingdom without it. Hamashiach said, if any man come after me, let him deny himself and pick up his stake and follow me. And everybody here Kazakh saying it every day, and they might be, every day Kazakh said the same thing. Yahushua HaMashiach through his Ruach is speaking. Without denying self, you will be self-indulgent. You cannot enter the kingdom. That is why HaMashiach said, if any man come after me, you cannot come after him. If you don't bear his name, you cannot go in the tower. So the first thing you have to do, you have to bear his name. Then you have to have emunah, self-control, power, patience, sincerity, innocence, purity, cheerfulness, truth, understanding, harmony, love. If you first cannot bear his name by denying yourself, how can you have these? The first is unbelief. The second?
Self-indulgence.
The third?
The third, disobedience.
If the Most High said to you, come out of her, my people, flee out of the midst of Babylon, and you continue to be disobedient, how can you enter into that tower? How? Because it's your unbelief, your disobedience is a manifestation of your unbelief. And for that we can go back to 1 Peter 2, 7-8, that tells you being disobedient. Those who believe not are disobedient. There's a direct correlation between unbelief and disobedience. When you truly believe, you will have the zeal to do that which you believe in. And the fourth?
And the fourth, deceit.
And deceit will be so powerful. You will not only be deceiving others, you will be deceiving yourself, which is called self-deception. Self-deception is when you deceive yourself into thinking you're walking into a role, or in a role rather, and you're not walking in it. You deceive yourself that you're holy, you're set apart, and you're ready for the kingdom. You deceive yourself that you are okay, I'm all right, I am good. You deceive yourself that you are righteous. You deceive yourself, self-deception. Continue, please.
And the ones who follow them are called grief.
Here we go. Mr. Grief. Continue.
Evil.
Licentiousness.
Angry
Angry temper.
Falsehood.
Foolishness.
Slander
and hatred. Without these, we can't enter the kingdom. Now, this thing here. It's a really serious walk. Now continue what he said before I go back on it. The servant of Allah
The servant of Yahuwah, who bears these names,
will see the kingdom of Allah, but will not enter it. Will see the kingdom, but you cannot enter. A very serious thing here. So, without me interrupting, I want you to slowly read verse 3.
Here also he said, the names of the woman with the black clothes. Of these, 4 also are more powerful. The first is unbelief, the second, self-indulgence, the third, disobedience, and the fourth, deceit. And the ones who follow them are called grief, evil, licentiousness, angry temper, falsehood, foolishness, slander, and hatred. The servant of Yahuwah who bears these names will see the kingdom of Yahuwah, but will not enter it.
All right. I think I'll leave it at there to give people something to think about. Yes? So we were speaking about harmony. We were speaking about harmony. Now, Reformer had a dream. And we just read about the tower and about the door of the tower. And Reformer's dream was that the door was in blue, and all of those behind that blue door were saved from whatever was outside. Now, for the past few days, the Most High has been giving us this thing about this blue. Let me get down about this blue. Now, let me put something here. I think give me a little thing. I need to put a picture here. I need to put up a couple pictures here. Let me put one here. Hold on, please. Let's just continue to think about what you just heard. One picture here, according to Daniel, and another picture here. Scene 3, duplicate. All right. So this now, this is what I delete and add another. All right. So let me put this other picture here. All right. This one here. Now, I had a dream about harmony. Harmony. You know, the Most High has been showing us colors and the importance of colors and the importance of the color blue. The importance of the color blue. If you notice, just the word's color is blue. And it's by no coincidence the Most High led me to that color. Now, the Most High was emphasizing the importance of harmony. Harmony. And if you are a person where whenever you go among people, there is disorder, you are quarreling, you cause problems, you cause arguments and everything, then you are not ready. Harmony is when you are able to be in one accord with people and you strive to be at peace. What does the word say? Seek ye peace and holiness, without which no man shall see Alua. Seek peace and to be set apart, without which no man shall see Yahuwah. So if you are quarrelsome, argumentative, etc., you have something quite wrong. The Most High gave me a dream. No, before we went into town, into the city. Was it Thursday? And we bought some garments. And it so happens that we were buying some fabrics rather. And we bought the fabrics. We were made to choose the fabrics. And everybody chose their different color fabric. And I chose one. And just by coincidence, it was a speckled blue and white. And this is how it is sometimes when you're led by the Ruach and you don't even know. You're doing things and you're not even knowing that the Ruach is leading you. And that blue and white represented harmony, and I didn't even know. So I brought that thing. And in the same night, the Most High gave me a dream. And in that dream, there is a football team from back in the area where I was. I think Bounty Hall, 6 miles away from our hometown. And they used to compete in the football competition of our parish. And I got a dream that they won the Chilani Major League. And this is a competition for people in our parish. Instead of states, you have parishes in Jamaica, 14 or 15 parishes. I think Portmore is 15, I don't know. 14 or 15 parishes. And in our parish, Bounty Hall competed. And the name of their club is Harmony United. And I dreamt that we were standing in the town and they were passing through and they were celebrating their victory. And they had things in their hands and celebrating like flags, and they had trees. One of them, I remember, had a bell, ringing the bell at the back. And there were a few of them. And someone remarked and said, how come there are such a few people celebrating this victory? Many are called what? Few are chosen. And they were in their blue and white. And they were walking. Let me put on the screen what these people wear. These are their colors. I see some people I know. Stanley at the end. Look at Shane. Yeah, and all those people that I know. The people here were celebrating their victory. And here's another picture with them. Another celebration that they were having. This is blue and white. And so, when they passed by, they stopped. And just a few of them stopped with us on the corner. And they just stopped and were just there with us, as if they were one with us. And this kind of brings me back to the Shepherd of Hermas, that tells us that we will have some of them and can have some of them and still be rejected. And the person was saying many of them were passing. And then, what else came up with this blue again? There was something else about this blue that came up. No, in the next day, in our fellowship, we were singing, and I said, I love how the voices just sound so good together. And Kenneth said, harmony. And then it connected with me. Harmony. The Most High is emphasizing today harmony. The importance of harmony. It is something that we love. There are believers who think that they must come and be argumentative and cause arguments and problems and, oh, I am righteous. And these people come according to the Torah. These people will come and they will say, oh, it's the Torah. Yes, it is Torah. We have to call out sins and we have to do this and we have to do that. Yes, you have to call out sins, but how do you do it? If you are going to cause mayhem in the assembly, it doesn't make any sense. You have to seek out harmony. That is what it says when it says, seek ye peace and holiness, without which no man shall see Allah. That is harmony. Okay? Harmony. And then I went to read the scriptures and I see, well, let me see where this color blue is highlighted. Because in Rafuma's dream, the door was blue. And everyone who was shut in behind the door was safe from what was outside. When I was moved from one stage to the other in this walk, the Most High sent this color here, you see up there, the color light blue here. So this is the color that he sent, along with the other dark blue that we had. The dark blue we had was like this blue here down at the bottom. So he sent this light blue to us, along with green. Yes? I think you probably need to give your dream. All right, Reformer is going to give his dream because I think these colors are important because the blue is in there and the green is in there. So let him speak his... All right, go ahead. Huh?
Okay. The other color is gray, not
Gray.
No, the green is a tree. Go.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. So the dream started with me being on a field. So it was a field on my grandma's farm, but it was very, very... On this field were standing people, and the people were standing in groups, like just standing around talking casually. And then all of a sudden, when the people were standing there, a flood of water came, but it was a low flood, like it came up to the ankles of everyone, but it filled the field. So it was a low flood. So no one was really, worried about that because the water didn't go anywhere, it just reached our ankles. So after that flood, suddenly another flood came in, and it was like mid-waist. But that flood took off and scattered some people. So some people were moved from their places and just scattered around, and they were displaced. And some of them still remained. And then while we were still recovering from that one, a third flood came, and that flood was more powerful and fierce. Like it just came and it just swept everything. And everyone was submerged, everything was destroyed. And while everyone was submerged in that, a voice, I can't remember this part, if it was a voice or it was Alda who said, do not let the water submerge you. Reach the surface, don't let the water submerge you. So then when he said that, I was like in the water, and there was like bodies of people that this flood had swept away, and most of them were dead who were underneath this water. And but it was like I was in the water, but I also had a view to see above the waters as some heads started coming out, but very few heads started popping out of this water. And then as I was looking there, I was looking for myself, to see if my head would pop out. But at the same time, I'm in the water and I'm fighting through a body of dead people, trying to reach the surface. And then eventually I had to wait for a few seconds, and then eventually my head popped out of the water. Then all of a sudden the dream changed, and we were in a tower. It was like a very tall tower, but it was also like a lighthouse. So this tower, we were just running upstairs, trying to reach the topest parts of this tower. And we were running up those stairs eventually until we reached the top of the tower. So when we reached the top of the tower, we were fine, we were happy, but it was almost like we felt that it wasn't enough. We had reached the top, but there was still danger that could catch us at the top of this tower. And then suddenly there was a tree at the top of this tower, a tall tree. And then Alda said, we need all of you climb this tree. You need to climb this tree. So then all of a sudden we all started climbing this tree. But when we were climbing this tree, we all kind of like perched at different levels of this tree. So some people climbed, like, let's just say 4 or 5 branches and settled there. Others went higher than them and settled there. So when we settled on the branches of this tree, we all lay down like birds. And, like each person would find their rest on a branch. So, yeah, so some would rest here, some tree. So then, so I climbed the top of the tree, and then I lay down, and then opposite me, Alder lay down on his side. And then when all of a sudden, as I was laying down, I realized that I had 2 jerseys on. The one on top was gray, and the one underneath it was white. So then Alder looked at me, and he said to me sternly, like, he was almost like he was like displeased, unhappy. And then he said, take off that gray jersey, And then I was kind of like, I was reluctant. I was like, oh, like I don't really want to, because the white underneath the gray was a bright white. So I didn't want to take off this gray. But then I did eventually. Then I took off the gray top, and then that's how the dream almost ended. And then before the dream ended, there was another voice that said that they can't find us here as long as the door is closed. And then it's almost like in the spirits I could see the door, and it was like an arched door, like I woke up.
Wow. So we see this tower, this lighthouse was the similitude of the tower that we looked at today. So the people being consumed are the people who are consumed by the spirits, the negative spirits. And we have to battle on through in order to survive. Now, most importantly is the blue door. What did he say about the blue door?
So we just said, as long as the door is closed, then no one can find us here.
So that means being a place where we are set apart. And it also could really refer to physical, right? The trouble that is upon this earth.
Yes.
That if we are in this place, and that refers to Psalm 91, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So people, that is why we strive to do what we do, and we do not care who believes or hears what we say. We are just striving to believe, to obey the Most High. Because we know that if we obey him, then there is reward. If we are not self-indulgent, if we give up everything to serve him, then we know that he will preserve us. Okay? That dream there, if you go back to the tower and match up everything is matched up. The green that he has given us, green refers to hope, it refers to provision, it refers to sheltering, it refers to coverage, it refers to everything. And the tree that he was in was green. That is the summit of it. Green tree, which refers to the Most High's provision, which refers to his salvation, which refers to his protection in time of trouble. All right? So let's never forget that blue there. Harmony. Harmony is essential, the essential glue that holds us together. Because when we are together, we can be thrown apart. But as long as there is harmony, nothing can keep us apart. All right, so today we looked at clothing. We looked at the importance of physical clothing and the importance of being clothed spiritually. Only hope this was edifying unto you. Let me go back and see if there are any questions before we go on YouTube. If there are any questions before I reach to the bottom, you may put them there, please. Christianity's favorite quote is "Come as you are." Yes, you are so right. It doesn't matter. Just come as you are. As long as you bring your tithes and offerings. That's what should be in the bracket. Because they're all about come as you are, it's all about numbers. Yeah? All right. Someone says we must have linen garments. Not necessarily linen. Because the people in the Bible were also clothed in wool. In woolen garments. And we also use cotton because cotton is also a natural garment, not synthetic, and it has a relatively high as well. I try to get 100% cotton also. I have a ways to go. Alright. Alright, so we wear 100% material. And we go for linen and cotton and wool. Wool is so expensive. So expensive. 800 and something rands for 1 meter.
Yeah.
That's how expensive it is. They made these things expensive so you cannot live for Yahuwah. Yeah. It is very hard in the US to find 100% clothing. That has been the hardest part of living set apart. Yeah, let me tell you something, Corey. We get cotton from the United States, 100% cotton. And then we go to make it for us. What you are depending on stores and to have them sell you their thing. What you are trying to tell you, even the styles that you do is Babylonian. So you have to go and make your own. We go and get our own made. We go and we make coats, we make robes. Just as when Yahuwah clothed Adam and Eve. Living in Babylon, USA makes it difficult to live Kadosh for Yahuwah. Of course, that's why it says come out of her. And I've been telling people all this, come out of her. You cannot live set apart in the midst of Babylon. Is the blue the actual color? I thought I heard in another video you mentioned a different color. No, cerulean blue. Cerulean blue is a blue which has a kind of a violet tinge to it, but it is blue nevertheless. Alright, that is the one that we use on the borders of the garment. All right. Let me see. Still offline on the radio. Yes, I realize that. Can't get on. Have the time to pay attention to it. How do I get the Shepherd of Hermas? Is it online or by app? You can download the Shepherd of Hermas from our website, justaword.org/downloads. That is the free PDF you can get. And you can also get it online. But you can get it free from our website. Yeah, that is that Hermas. You can get it free on our website. And what we did here, we downloaded the PDF from the website and just printed it. We can make it into a book. This is how easy it is. Go to a printer and just make it into a book. So justaword.org/downloads, or just go to the menu and go on the downloads page. Shepherd of Hermas is there along with other books that we use. Alright. Remnant Child said, this is not a walk in the park. I was distressed for a moment, but Yahuwah has helped me shake it off. I want to be obedient all the way. So this is why you have to deny yourself, Remnant Child. If you are going to be standing there and looking at it and, boy, this is hard, but it is going to be hard because you have not denied yourself. When you deny yourself and you see an instruction, you are just going to walk in the instruction and say, oh, well, so it is. Yeah? All right. Is the garments pants and shirt and then robe? That's a good question. No, we don't use shirts because this shirts is this Babylonian style. Oh, I don't know how to answer that one. Jamin Mayer says, I am Gentile. I want to obey with garments and fringes. By doing so, would I bring confusion? I want to obey but not to confuse who are the real Yahshua. That's another very good question as well. Very good question. Gentiles wearing fringes. But you got a dream about Gentiles wearing fringes.
No, it was the one black woman who wore fringes. Then she was followed by a multitude of people, but they weren't wearing fringes.
Okay, so let's say it and tell you need to say it.
But oh no, I was saying that in the dreams it was a woman of color who came and she wore fringes on the ends of her shirt.
Oh.
But then the people that followed, the white people who came in were wearing ancient garments, and they wore like these weird flowy ancient garments, but I didn't see fringes on them, but they wore ancient garments.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that's that. It says the Gentiles did not have on their fringes, and he was seeing people coming into the kingdom, was it?
It was like a place to kind of like assess if you are Israel or not, or
Yeah.
Israel or not. Yeah.
All right. Yes.
I'm just thinking that doesn't it say in the scripture, yes, that
One law shall
law-
be to you and the stranger that sojourns
Exactly.
among you. That is another thing. I don't know. Yeah, that's another consideration.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because it says, "Speak unto the children of Yasharal and bid them wear fringes on the borders of their garments." So it's there, and then, the clothing will be there to separate the Israelites from others. So then you have to ask if the fringes are actually for them. Because look at it. In the Torah there are laws, but not all the laws will pertain to us. So there are laws for farming, there are laws for women, there are laws for priests, there are laws for this that will not pertain to us. So not all laws will pertain to everyone. So you obey the ones that pertain to you. You get what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so that's it. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I'm sorry for those on Jaw Radio that went offline. But it was a very difficult, very challenging technical thing, but I only hope you got the message. All right? The clothing must be set apart. Now, we have followed the Most High and we have changed our clothing away from the Babylonian clothing. Now, that is why we tell people that it is hard to serve, as I think David Badila said this, it's hard to serve the Most High in the midst of Babylon. Yeah. So, we have decided to come out of her to the fullest. And this is another way in which the Most High has shown us, all right? So, I want to thank you for listening and shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. Yeah, someone was saying, I read in the books of the Nazarene that a pale blue haze shined around Yahusha. And that is the blue that we have, all right, which represents Ruach HaKadosh. All right? All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom.